What's up, y'all? It's your girl Rochelle and I'm back with another video. Welcome to my channel where over here we talk about doing all things saving money, getting debt free, and doing everything on purpose so you can win with the money you already have. Now today I want to share with you 5 things that I haven't seen others talk about that may help you build your emergency fund up quicker. The money situation in 2025 is nothing like in years past, recent past. And so I wanted to share some tips with you that may help you in your money journey. Now share in the comments below if there's anything you found helpful that you've tried in the first few months of the new year, and share it with others, y'all. That's why I love our money community, because we talk about budgeting and it looks different for every person. So there is no wrong road as long as that road leads to the same debt-free journey. So tip number 1 that I have for you guys is to set up direct deposit to multiple accounts. Now this has been a game changer. Unfortunately, this is something that I did years ago, but then kind of like stopped doing. I don't know if it happened because I went from being a W-2 employee to being self-employed, but I just feel like I got away from doing it and I don't know why. And so on paydays, I would Zelle myself money to different accounts, or Micah would Zelle me money or something like that. Instead of just saying, you know what, you get paid every 2 weeks, set aside $500 to go to our spending account to cover anything we need for the house, food, clothing, all that type stuff. And then all our bill money can stay right in one bill account. Now, a lot of people talk about splitting your money up into different bank accounts, but setting it up so that it automatically happens every payday is crucial. It is such a game changer. Highly recommend. Okay, and here's my biggest tip about that. If you don't know what you're doing, and you want to make sure you set up this money to go to your bank account that is yours and not someone else's, some stranger, get help from someone at HR, someone who also uses direct deposit, who you trust, because y'all, you want to make sure you have it linked to the correct bank account. Enough said. Tip number 2 is to separate your bill money and your spending money. Now, when it comes to paydays, this might seem like something that we always do, but to do it consistently day in, day out really is a game changer. So say for instance, it's payday, you have your $1,000 in your bill account and $250 in your spending account, you are all set. And then you go out for drinks with a friend, maybe y'all hit up a winery and y'all got you a charcuterie board and all this type of jazz, and you get the bill, and the bill is like $50 for the both of you combined because y'all went in on one appetizer, budget life, budget friendly, got 2 drinks, and you're like, oh, okay, well, you know what? I'll pay for the whole bill. You just send me half. Okay, well, let me Zelle you $25 or let me Cash App you $25. Well, which bank account is that Zelle or Cash App linked to? Is it linked to your bill account, or is it linked to your fun spending money account? Okay. Enough said. All right. Okay. Bonus tip on just that tip number 2 is to have a third account set up for variable spending. Now, this is something that I do, and I'm not consistent with it yet, but I would like to dive in and do it a little more consistently. But say you have something that you know is going to come up. It's unexpected. You don't know when it's going to happen. It's basically an electronic sinking fund account that you can pull from with no feelings attached. You know, it's not my grocery money, it's not my bill money, it's my just in case money, and it protects you from having to reach for your full-on emergency fund. So all we're doing is layering our savings, and I hope it works. I hope it works for you. Tip number 3 is to hold these kids accountable, y'all. Hold these kids accountable. If your kid does not bring an income, does not have any job, and I say kid, but I'm really meaning teenager, then we have to make sure that we hold them accountable for the spending that they do on our dime. If you are someone who has a kid, at least one, and you go shopping and you find yourself reaching for items because your kid wants it, and it's not on the shopping list, it's not in the budget, I know we want to baby our kids and our teens, but they're getting older and we are not setting them up for success. We are not their friends, and we have to keep our bank account safe. And we are teaching them habits that will take them into adulthood. So for me, myself, I like to make sure that my daughter has her own money because she thrives. She thrives when she has her own money that she can spend independently on what she wants to do. And it just takes away that feeling of having to ask for permission to buy something and ask for someone to buy you something, you don't want to start creating that habit where they feel like they always have to go to somebody else to get money so they can get the things that they want or need. And it just promotes independence and standing on their own 2 feet. So let me know in the comments, is that something that you have tried to adopt when raising your kids or your nieces and nephews? There's spooling, and then there's day-to-day. Hey, what do you need? Go ahead and grab what you need. I'm going grocery shopping. Would you like to come along? Is there something you want to buy too? Type energy. And I know some people are always looking for ways to have earning opportunities for allowance and things like that. I think that should be individual, up to your household. My daughter has her own shea butter business. She brings in variable income there. She also, does little side hustles like babysitting. You have to find the niche for your teenager and also help them develop their own sense of bringing in income. I don't think that that's something that you should decide for them. I think it needs to come naturally from them. You can promote the things that you think they're good at. You can help support them and help them market their talents, but it needs to be something that they do, that they vibe, that they enjoy in doing and won't mind doing on their own. Okay. Number 4, save and pay off debt. Now, a lot of people say, save, you should be saving money, you should be saving money. I have always, if you've ever watched any of my content over the past few years, always talk about diversifying your income and diversifying your spending, which is basically tip number 5. And I do have a bonus tip to attach to this. But tip number 4, there are things that you can do in unison to still reach your common goal. I notice right now in 2025, I started initially hitting hard, paying off debt, paying off credit cards. We're still in this debt-free journey. But lately, I've really felt like I need to save more money. And so I am allowed to make that decision. Like, I think I'm going to start saving 75% of our freed money and paying debt down with the other 25%. I am still teetering with that, but the times that we're living in, it is good not to make any rash decisions, y'all. I get a lot of questions like, hey, are you still going to keep your Tesla? Yes, that puppy is almost paid off. Are you still going to shop at certain stores? People are, choosing to shop at, small businesses to support local. Well, those are things that I do anyway, but there are some things that I just cannot get. And, I'm all for supporting charity and supporting causes, but not when it does not benefit me personally. And if it, in fact, makes things harder for me in the sense of I don't stand in the same situation as someone else. So I am on the island of Oahu, Hawaii. I am very limited off top, being in the middle of the ocean, on where and when I can shop. So I can say like, oh yeah, I'm not going to support Amazon, or I'm not going to shop at Walmart, when in reality, those are the only 2 ways you're going to get something on this island. So I say whatever decision you make, whatever you choose to do, let it be your decision, one that benefits your family, that keeps you safe, that keeps food in your belly, that keeps your 4 walls standing and paid for. Be careful jumping on bandwagons and doing things and supporting even like new business ventures and things that other people have. Don't let people dream on your money, with your money. I think that, it gets dicey when you start talking about friends and family and supporting them because they supported you. And it can be some gaslighting and some guilt tripping. And I love talking about money and how complicated it can get, especially even when you're talking about a couple and how different they choose to budget and spend their money. It just depends on the person. So me personally, my tip is to save and pay off debt. It is something that will benefit your household in the long run and in the short run. And it's just never a bad idea. Do both. It's always a good idea to do both. Tip number 5 is, I've already touched on it. It is to diversify your income. Don't depend on one paycheck. Try to find ways where you can take on extra sources of income without it being a burden. My favorite thing to do is to look up free ways to make money. I don't like when if there's a way to make money, I have to spend money to make money. That's not really the type of businesses and side hustles that you want to start off doing. You want to start with the things that you're already spending your money on, like the Fetch app, where you can refer friends and family to use the Fetch app, and you guys help each other and build up points, and then turn in those points to get gift cards. You want to do free surveys. I mean, I know this stuff sounds really ancient and really old, but this is like stuff you do on your couch with the receipts that are already in your purse. Then you can start to build into offering services that are home-based or travel-based. I mean, the options are endless. If you are someone who always gets compliments on your hair, and it's just something that you do naturally, you take joy in, maybe you don't want to go to beauty school on the front end. Maybe you want to just start with friends and family and say, hey, the next time you need, meet someone to help you unbraid your hair, I'm available for 1 or 2 hours a month. Keep me in mind. And you could make it tip-based. Maybe that's your minimum, like, hey, I'm not charging you a price, but I do charge for my time. So whatever tip you think, or you could have a set rate. Or maybe you're someone who's good at press-on nails, which is something my daughter is really good at. She's really good at braiding and press-on nails. And I never want to take that for granted and just say, oh, I'm getting this for free because you're my daughter and I pay rent for you to live here. No, I'm going to pay her her worth. I ask her for her pricing. I make an appointment with her. This is not something that I'm just going to spring on her. Eva, can you do my nails right now? Eva, can you do my nails right now? Look at her face. She's like, no. Because you want to respect the other person's time. And I got some of the best advice from a friend years ago who is also here on YouTube, and she's an influencer. She's a YouTuber. She, does a lot of things in the beauty and makeup world. And she said, don't ever depend on your family and close friends to support your business. So I view it as a kind of like one of my favorite things is when my close friends and family don't know that I have a YouTube channel. I think that's actually really good because I want to get blind support. I love when my friends find out naturally, like, girl, your video was recommended to me on TikTok. Like, I love when the algorithm just works in my favor and works that way versus me handing them a business card and saying, hey, did you watch my latest video? You don't want to strain your real off-camera relationships with things that you choose to spend your time doing. So find your niche, find your people, find your community. If it's your friends and family, that's nice, but do not depend on it. So yeah, those are my 5 tips for what I would do with money in 2025. It is ever changing. Those are the tips I would do right now in April 2025 at the time I'm recording this. But my bonus tip is to be ready to change the plan. Everything I just said, be ready to wipe the slate clean and come up with new ideas and new ways to be good with your money. Things are going to happen. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have things that are unexpected, but then you're going to have some big money wins. And it might not look like adding a bunch of zeros behind a 1 to make the number longer, but you might find ways to coupon without couponing. You might find ways to make your dollar stretch more than you thought. I randomly had a money win the other day that I think I showed it to Micah and Eva, but I ordered a Walmart order and I ordered some Vaseline, and I hadn't ordered Vaseline in years, y'all, because Vaseline lasts forever, right? But I ordered some Vaseline and it was like $3. And I was like, man, $3 for Vaseline. I don't know how much I paid in years past, but the price has gone up. And the brand that I wanted was sold out, and my shopper found me another jar of Vaseline, larger size, same unscented. I wanted it unscented for like $1 and change. So I viewed that as a money win. They just helped me save $2. So thank you. So anyway, those are my 5 tips. Set up direct deposit to multiple accounts. Definitely separate your bill money and your spending money and add a variable account if you can. Hold those kids and family members accountable. Save and pay off debt at the same time if you can. Diversify your income and be ready to switch up the plan. Drop a comment below. Which one would you try this month? What have you done so far this year to make good with your money that you already have in your bank account? And don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more content just like this. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, you know what it is. Peace, love, and budgets.